Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be talking about how to build up a really good meditation habit. Now meditation is something that I think is really important generally. I think it's especially important today with like mobile devices and stuff. I think it's really good to have some kind of defense against just getting super distracted. And it's something I've done for a very long time. Well, like, 6 months, I'll say I've been meditating. But I think it's probably one of the hardest things to really get to grips with, especially if you're. It's something you do like individually, which obviously most of us do. So I'm going to talk about ways that I think you can mix up. You can sort of build a really good meditation habit, one that you're getting out like a lot of stuff out of, because it's very easy with habits generally to just get stuck doing the same old thing that's not really working when really and you just keep expecting something to sort of come from it. You're expecting some kind of breakthrough for all your hard work and you don't really get it, like if you haven't really got your diets on point, you keep eating the wrong foods because you think it's what you should be eating, but then like you look at your macros and you're like, oh, actually I need to, up my calories, or I need to whatever, have more fats or whatever it is. I don't know, bad example. But anyway, I think especially true of meditation. So the first thing that I think you should do with meditation, if you want to get a good meditation habit, is book up on it. So I don't think it's enough to just turn up and meditate every day. Now, doubtless that's the first thing you should do, and you should always make sure you do meditation every day if you want to see progress in it. However, I think to really take it to the next level, the stuff where you really sort of see the bigger picture with meditation, you need some kind of other informational, like flow of information regarding meditation. So, like, listen to podcasts about it, watch YouTube videos about it. I've like saved a bunch of Cole Hastings videos about meditation recently because I was encountering this problem where I had a bit of a roadblock with meditation, and so I thought, okay, I just need to find out more of what it's actually about, and I think that's really helped. Sam Harris did a podcast with Andrew Huberman, which I found really interesting. So I just think it's good to like get the sort of bigger picture with meditation a bit, because it's a very weird thing. It's really weird, and if you have a bit of sort of, if you understand the philosophy behind what you're trying to do a bit more, I think that can really help. Okay, so the second thing to do is to mix it up. I have written here as much as possible. I don't think you need to like really mix it up all the time, but don't be afraid of admitting that some kind of form of meditation you're doing isn't working. So, for example, if you do a lot of, like I was doing a lot of guided meditation recently, and I got to the point where I was just fed up of it. I was like, this isn't fucking working anymore. So I started meditating without a guide, just kind of, I'd focus on an object, like a leaf or something like that, and I'd just focus on it really intently for however long I was doing it. And I've gone on to different types of meditation after that. Like I started using the Hamza meditation YouTube channel, which I thought was really good. So I just think it's good to mix it up a bit, because the mind works very well with kind of variation, with different things. And, it can get a bit stagnant if it's just doing the same thing over and over again. It's harder to put as much effort into something you're doing if it's exactly the same every day. For example, like with the gym, I know like what a lot of people say is it's good to lift. Like there's so much debate about what's the ideal rep range. How should you lift heavy or lift lots of weights? And the answer is you need to do right across the board. You need to do heavy and you need to do light, but lots of reps. If you want to really maximize if you want to have a really fantastic training program, because the brain, it's not that any one way of doing it's particularly good, but it's just that's the way, the variety makes it a lot more sort of interesting for you, and it's more engaging, and it's just better if you deal with things right across the board. And I think meditation is a similar thing that's true. You know, if you're just listening to the same old guided meditation every day, after a while, it's just not going to do anything to you, because it's like you kind of know what to expect, and so your brain stops putting as much effort into it. Meanwhile, if you listen to like 2 guided meditations per week, and then you throw in some visual meditation, some, you know, just normal self-meditation, just timer, you know, you have all these different types, then you're going to sort of experience what makes each form of meditation different. And I think that's really good, especially if you're in a rut with meditation, like just trying different things. Okay, now the last thing I want to say before I leave this is, this is kind of, in a sense, a contradiction to what I've just suggested. But I think, like, it's funny, what I've really realised recently is something can be a contradiction and true at the same time. So I hope you guys understand what I mean here. So the last thing is to trust in the process. So I know I've just said, like, if you're unhappy with meditation, switch on to another form of meditation, you know, read up on it, you know, all this kind of stuff. But I think the number one thing to do, above all of that, is just to trust in the process. And just no matter what kind of meditation you're doing, just make sure you're doing it every day, even if it's for just 3 minutes, or even if it's just for a minute. It really doesn't matter how long it is. As long as you're doing it every day, that is the number one thing. That's the kind of ground zero. And then from that you can, I think that's the kind of baseline. Don't reject consistency for, like, don't spend the time that you would spend meditating, reading on meditation, or like researching other ways to meditate. Do that on top of doing the meditation every day. Because I think that is one of the things you just have to do every day if you want to see results in it. And I think it's just, you don't really necessarily understand exactly what it does to you until you commit to it. It's a bit like people say this about religion, about religious scripture, like the Bible. You don't really understand what the Bible, like what's so correct about the Bible until you read it. Like, you kind of need to, it's like scripture reveals scripture. It's like the more you read, the more you understand, kind of thing. But you can't sort of understand it without reading it. Now, you know, is that necessarily true? I don't really know. I don't really think I can comment on that. I know, like, a lot of people obviously disagree with that idea, but I think there is something true in meditation that it's a similar dynamic in meditation that I certainly have observed. It's like you just can't really explain what it is that it does to you until you do it. So just above all, just, you know, don't expect to understand it all at once. Just make sure you're committing to it, and the more you commit to it, and then if you research this and find a sort of variety that works for you, that's when I think you have the best habit and you're going to get the most out of it. So I hope this helps, guys. I think meditation for some people is really easy, some people it's incredibly difficult, but I think it's the people to whom it's the most difficult is the most necessary. So in a sense, if you're really good at meditation, almost sort of it's not as important as people who just hate doing it and seem to derive, like, if you don't get very much out of meditation, it probably means you need to do it the most. You need it the most. So anyway, I hope this helps, and I will see you in the next video.